this is a whole controversy in itself. So, Riley Alana is a commentary YouTuber. I watch her sometimes, but her streams are multiple hours long, so I don't react to them on YouTube just because I don't have time, but I watch them off stream. So far, she hasn't had any controversy, but she decided to go after Black Friday, a goth YouTuber from the OG side of YouTube. Black Friday has never had any issues, really, and I watched the Black Friday video that Riley Alana made, and I'm just gonna be real with you. Riley, this this is not a good look for you, girly. I don't know. I know you have BPD and PTSD, and you know you're probably in a downward spiral, and that's understandable. But girl, half of the shit you said about Black Friday is not true. Now I haven't watched Black Friday's response, and that's why we're here. All right, that's why we're here. So we're gonna watch it. We're gonna go over it, and then I'm gonna give my thoughts at the end.
I generally don't engage in drama, but alright, let's go. So this person has made a deep dive hate video about me, 2 hours long.
A lot of different controversies.
It draws from a source that has guessed a lot of stuff and made a lot of stuff up. It is, as many of the comments say, a nothing burger. It's a boring and botched story of my life. It was such a slog that even I struggled to watch it, but there is so much flat out bullshit in there, and so many people have seen it, I cannot let it alone. According to Reilly's video, I neglect my children, abandoned my pets, am a racist, a scammer, a liar. I believe in free speech, but I also believe in consequences. And
Yep, you can say whatever you want, but you have to deal with the consequences of it.
I don't believe in slander, which is what this is.
This is actually for Freya directly.
Listen to me very closely.
I'm not gonna lie, this came off as a threat to me when she said this. And I know that she's had issues with Social Repose and Onision taking her videos down. Cool. Black Friday is not like that.
If you attempt to get this video taken down, not only will you bring even more attention to it,
But I will never stop talking about it.
I will make multiple follow-up videos and I will monetize the hell out of it. Do not do something stupid. It will not bode well for you. I can promise you that.
Starting your video with a threat was really cool and totally not unhinged at all. Sounds like
I'm not gonna be real, Riley. That was uncalled for.
you have way too much free time. Get a better hobby. Okay, let's address everything, shall we? Every controversy, everything I never explained, every thread I left loose, everything that's been too personal or that I'm scared to talk about and still am. Let's publicly talk about all the painful stuff that I'm not ready to talk about.
Jesus. Black Friday should not have to explain herself at all.
Things. Let me bare my soul before you, because I will not have my good name besmirched in such a disgusting way. Let's do this thing by thing, like bullet points, in no particular order. I swear upon this Bible, and this Satanic Bible, and this Luciferian Bible, I swear upon the integrity of my own soul.
Respect. Respect.
That everything I am going to tell you is true. 100% unfiltered everything. I've absolutely made mistakes and done and said stupid things. I've done things I'm ashamed of and embarrassed about. Of course I have. So have you. So has everyone. I'm a normal person living a life. Of course I've done things, or usually in my case, not done things, that mortify me to think of. All I've ever done was the best I could do at the time.
The Louvre and Père Lachaise incident.
The Louvre and Père Lachaise, both very famous locations. The fact that you've never heard of the Louvre speaks volumes about your ignorance, but I digress.
Who hasn't heard of the Louvre?
Listen, I'm not French, I'm Irish.
Oh, so you speak Irish then? Told us out of
Basically, Freya and Matthias.
It's Matthias, actually.
Matthias.
She and Matthias entered the Louvre. While inside, Freya was waving a selfie stick around while talking.
From what I understand, and I've watched Riley's apology before I watched the response from Black Friday. This was a disgruntled fan sending her all of this. And so Reilly didn't actually do the research like she did with the other videos. And that is where there's a problem.
Loudly.
This is not what happened. We didn't get into the Louvre at all. We only got as far as the entrance.
Reasonably.
Guy who shakes his head and he doesn't want to see
I don't know.
They look a bit. Like what?
Your clothes, your...
What is wrong with my clothes and my hair?
For me, I like it. No, it's not possible to put them together.
And here is the Louvre later offering me a VIP tour to make up for it. The story that I told back then is the story. It's funny you talk about your source, because I used to see people quoting from some source who knew what really happened at Père Lachaise. The only story I remember was that I was twerking on graves, which is pretty funny. I've never twerked in my life. I don't even think my ass can do that. But the Paris thing...
I'm sorry, that was funny. That was funny. You know what? Fair enough, Black Friday.
There's literally nothing more to it. I'm sorry it's not more scandalous, but what I said happened is what happened.
Her and Mr. Owl's wedding. It is very much possible that Freya did take these funds intended for this live stream wedding and instead used them to travel to Germany and party and relocate and do drunken shopping.
She also harps on about the wedding live stream thing.
It cannot be stressed enough that this wedding was very well funded.
I got about $40 from that wedding live stream fundraising thing. That's it. $40. Hardly enough to jump on a plane and spend big on partying. I couldn't refund them because it was a donation, so when I later got married to Matthias, I emailed every contributor and sent them our wedding video long before it was published, so at least they'd be getting something. I don't recall anyone actually caring or asking for their $2 back.
It was very basic, lackluster
Yeah, because it was a $40 wedding.
ceremony.
That was a typical German wedding. That's how they're done there. Different from the big glamorous events Americans might be used to.
Oh, it was a German wedding. You know what? Fair. Still. Like, different cultures, dude. Different cultures.
So how was I paying for all my shopping and traveling and partying?
Used the wedding funds to travel to Germany and party. Did some drunken shopping while she was there.
It couldn't possibly be because I was earning my own money at that point. I also had a credit card back then, hence the debt. I was getting okay money from YouTube. Not what most people would consider a lot, but, you know, a lot for me. Onision. Yeah, I did used to like Onision's videos. I didn't know much about him. I thought they were pretty funny and well put together. I didn't like him for long. The more I heard about him, the more I started to think that his I'm a crazy asshole act wasn't a joke. I've never met...
And see, this is where it's like... Part of me wants to think that because she was associated with Onision for a little bit, that's why Reilly made this video. I mean, everybody was. Everybody was. He was a big thing back in OG YouTube.
Met him, but I understand he is a vile and contemptible person.
I am a proud Onision historian. I was there every step of the way.
I wasn't at all.
I've never heard the stories or the rumors about him. You did know the rumors. You're a liar. I don't believe a word you say. You wanted views, and you suck.
I still don't know all the stories about him, so no, I wasn't lying.
So, I have watched Black Friday. I watch a lot of gothic YouTubers. I watch Toxic Tears. I watch sometimes of Herbs and Altars, and I watch Black Friday. And I can vouch, you know, I watched her back in the day because, you know, I was a baby bat, and Black Friday gave a lot of help to baby bats. Alright? And, yeah, she still keeps to her side of YouTube. She doesn't really care too much about interacting or even researching, you know, drama like that. So, yeah, that makes absolute sense.
Unlike you, have better things to do than obsess over people I don't like.
That's absolute bull. Freya, do you think we're fucking stupid?
Yeah, I kinda do. Why are we still talking about Onision? I stopped caring about him years ago. You should too. Why are you even giving this guy your breath and time?
Onision is just full of spite and literally cannot let anything go ever.
Oh, so kinda like you. The Sophie charity.
At the time, she was disrespectful to Sophie Lancaster's now dead mother over not being included in a goth influencer calendar for the Sophie charity.
What the actual That never happened. I never communicated, to my knowledge, with Sophie Lancaster's mother, let alone be disrespectful to her. Why would I do that? I was not remotely interested in being in that calendar. The woman who was putting the calendar together, let's call her Renee, because that is her name, had previously written some huge, random, hateful bitch spiel about me and toxic tears. I was aware of her. Long story short, kept hearing that Renee was a terrible person. Sophie Charity messaged me on Twitter asking if I could retweet Renee's video. I love the charity, but I was not putting that hateful woman's face on my Twitter. Me being typical me, I didn't reply with my reasons. I didn't get around to replying at all. Here is the entirety of my communications with the Sophie charity ever. I can, however, tell you that someone Renee asked to be involved, a charismatic Cuban-American musician, told me he was going to be involved in her calendar project but pulled out. I can't remember his reasons, but I remember thinking, oh my god, that's insane. I love the Sophie charity. I do not love Renee. A hateful and bitter person, I believe, is the antithesis of what Sophie stands for.
And that's entirely fair. You don't want to associate with a person who's a piece of shit.
Watching old videos with Matthias is like watching a previous life. It makes me deeply uncomfortable.
Freya was allowed to stay in Germany for up to 6 months as a visitor.
3 months without a visa, actually.
Her and Matthias had been together for 6 months, so her visitor stay was almost due to end, and they conveniently got engaged. It's eerily convenient timing, okay? I'm just saying.
I had a language learning visa that was good for
Like, I don't understand what the problem is with that. I don't understand what the problem is with that. Like, genuinely, if you travel to another country, you got a visa, you get engaged, so what? Like, so what?
like a year at that point, so no eerily convenient timing.
The German government figured out that she basically tried to scam their visa system into staying for free. She used her ex-husband to gain citizenship in Germany. Her wedding to him was a sham. He found out and turned her into the German authorities.
So, the German government found out I was scamming the visa system. Gosh, I must be devious. And that's why Matthias dumped me. I have never explained why Matthias and I broke up. I do not want to explain it now. I am sick at the thought of it. I am, for some reason, still scared. No doubt he will email me after this, probably with threats, but I will not.
Matthias was, from what I understand, abusive. So yeah, she doesn't want to fucking talk about it. It's like Jake Monroe and Toxic Tears, okay? Like, leave it alone.
Have this put about. God. I did not explain it online because I knew my followers would probably rain down hate upon him, and I would have to cope with the consequences of that, him being my neighbor still, and I absolutely could not cope with it.
He's still your neighbor? Yeah, no, that's terrifying.
At the time of our breakup, I was experiencing the worst mental health of my life. I had panic attacks daily. I couldn't eat or go outside without having panic. I kept waking in the night with my heart hammering. I experienced disassociation for weeks, which was terrifying. If I saw his face, I'd spend the rest of the day in a disassociative waking nightmare. The primary reason we broke up is because he cheated on me in the bathroom at the Gothic Pogo party with a girl who was actually in my vlog from that day or the day before. I made friends with her, we added each other on Facebook. No
Thank you for the follow.
hate towards her, she assumed we must have had an open relationship, but I was still like, yeah, I don't think we can be friends now. It was really weird how I found out. I just had a feeling when I saw him close a messenger window one day. He admitted to wanting to have something on the side with her. He was pretty contrite. I found out later that he flirted with girls, including my friends, at any party I wasn't at. We tried to work through this, but that wasn't the only reason our relationship had to end. He would throw stuff at me, shout at me, raise his fist, make me cry, then laugh at me, gaslight me, bully me about my weight. Every bad day he had was my fault. He was
So, yeah, I was right. Essentially, Jake Monroe and Toxic Tears.
insanely jealous of Barnaby. Every time I was on the phone to someone, he'd say, "Is that your ex? You talking shit about me?" He locked me on the balcony. He would purposely blast music when I needed quiet for filming. He took so much money from me. Like, I paid the flat deposit, he kept that for himself. He had major anger issues. I tried to help him with this. He got on some meds for a bit, and I remember him reading a book called Wut tut gut, but he decided he didn't need this. One Mariluna, he kneed me in the back and I fell on my hands and knees because I wouldn't have sex with him in a public place. I have a snippet of video from that night, which is nothing really, but it's the only evidence I have of what he was like. He forced me to delete it. I made a copy, of course I didn't delete it. The police came 2 or 3 times to our flat for domestic violence reports. Our neighbours called the police after one altercation, and a policewoman told me, "You need to leave him." And I just said, "I can't." I never understood why people stay in abusive relationships, but you do feel trapped. I kept thinking,
You do. You do. You feel terrified. You feel trapped. You feel like even if you have the resources to leave, they'll come for you.
it'll be better when this, it'll be better when that. I can't remember a lot of things now because I try not to think about that time. My friends in New Zealand knew something was wrong and they were going to put together to bring me home. My friends in Germany kept saying, "Are you okay?" And I don't know how they knew because I never told anyone about this stuff. I think the Paris trip was actually to make amends for some awful row we'd had. My only hope is that he wouldn't abuse any woman in the future. I've since heard he's been abusive to girls online, which surprises me not at all. At parties and gigs, I've heard stories. He's also not a goth anymore. If it hadn't happened so fast, if I had recognised the red flags, which now seem so obvious, I wouldn't have married him. So yeah, my 5-year German residence permit was linked to our relationship. Visa-wise, my whole life was now in Germany. If we had stayed legally married for a year or 2 longer, I could have stayed there at least long enough to sort something out. He had started seeing other girls. Like, it would have made no difference to him except that he got to pay less tax. I guess he knew he had that power over me still. He went to the immigration office and told them we'd split up. He admitted to me he did it because he was jealous about Barnaby. I went to the immigration office because I'd heard infidelity on his part was not grounds for cancelling a residence permit, but they said it was cancelled now and nothing could be done. Why don't I apply for a different German visa? I didn't. Obviously, I worked on getting a UK visa instead. He ruined my life because he could. He took so much from me. He annihilated my mental health. So there you go. That's how I scammed the German visa system and used Matthias to stay there.
Do you guys remember the trend of every single creator making videos dedicated to Eugenia Cooney exploiting
Here we go. Here we go.
her condition for views? Yeah, well, Freya had to get in on that too.
Eugenia Cooney.
She was trying to help. I remember that video.
God, this is so long, my arm's going to sleep. I made that video because at the time a lot of people were making similar videos and I thought they were shit. I don't have an eating disorder, but I've been close with people who do, and I grew up understanding mental health and disabilities. I didn't even monetize that video, I just hoped that my voice might make a difference. It didn't. The meta tags. I included a bunch of emo or similar YouTubers' names in my tags, or relevant interests, often as upload defaults, to attract new viewers who might also
Yeah, I do that for my videos. Like, that's normal.
like my channel. It was a recommended tip to do at the time, and lots of people also used It's Black Friday in their meta tags. Even in this example, you can see emo hair, graveyard girl, Susie, Elvira. I also tagged Brian Stars, Alex Durami, My Digital Escape, Johnny Gilbert. I didn't watch these YouTubers, I only knew that they were emo and peripherally related to my channel. Likewise, I didn't watch or know anything about Eugenia, only that she was an emo YouTuber. Once I realized why people were talking about Eugenia, I never used her name in a meta tag again. Eugenia was
Yeah, it's not hard to see.
never a trend, and I wouldn't use drama around more popular creators to glean views, unlike some orange-haired hypocrites. Maybe it's because I cared about Eugenia and didn't want her to die, and the effect she was having on young vulnerable viewers who used her as thinspo. Hot
Yep. That's the right way to approach it.
take.
So this girlfriend Mr. Owl had was
Barnaby's girlfriend.
Freya then went back to New Zealand and, filming it on YouTube, went to Barnaby's doorstep to ask him to get back together. Somehow that worked, which of course meant the girlfriend getting dumped by Barnaby.
This is such bullshit, guys. A few points about Barnaby's girlfriend. Let's nickname her Bluey for her hair. 1. She pursued him. She was also not his first girlfriend after our split.
I could not find proof or was provided proof of Freya directly harassing the new girlfriend online.
You can't find anything because I never did harass her online or otherwise. 3. She thinks I poisoned Germany against her. I didn't. I barely know her. I have no ill will towards her whatsoever. She has her own issues which are absolutely not my place to talk about. 4. When I first met her, she had makeup and hair almost exactly like mine. Like, I felt like I was at a party with myself. When she started seeing Barnaby and was apparently wanting to start a YouTube channel, I did think, this girl wants to be me. 5. Others also thought this, apparently, so while they were together she made efforts to look and be a lot less like me. 6. She dumped him right before Christmas. It was Christmas Day that Barnaby contacted me. He came back to me. 7. We were already unofficially back together before I turned up to surprise him. 2 months later, she had moved to the other side of the country. 8. I didn't know until just now that my mum was bullying Bluey online, but this surprises me not at all. My mum
Her mom is atrocious, I ain't even gonna lie.
would send me photos of Bluey telling me how beautiful she was compared to me. This just in, my mum's a bitch. 9. Please leave Bluey in peace. We have all long since moved on with our lives.
The choice to represent Kat Von D, I think, was interesting. She's also anti-vax.
Kat Von D. When Kat
Von D, for those who don't know, is a goth tattoo artist with her own controversies that are actual real controversies.
D brought me to her party in LA, which was wonderful. She was still pregnant. Everyone loved her. It was only later, after she had her baby, that she revealed she was anti-vax and all the other drama came out. I had filmed a whole gold makeup look using her 10-year anniversary makeup collection, which was all gold. But when the controversy came out, I didn't post the video. If you must know, I am fully vaccinated and all my children are fully vaccinated. This big one that she went on and on and on about. My skin whitening tutorials that I never
Yeah, they call Freya racist. Like, bruh, chill.
made.
This is a video where she shows us a formula she made that is meant to, of course, lighten your skin tone.
No, it isn't.
Racist undertones here. Promote skin lightening. The racist racism.
So I am a massive racist, obviously. And all the non-Caucasian people in my life who I love or grew up with, I'm sure can vouch for that because I vomit every single time I see them. For those of you who don't get sarcasm, that was sarcasm.
You can
I don't get sarcasm a lot of the time, and even I could tell that was sarcasm.
better conform to goth and alternative Eurocentric beauty standards.
I have said repeatedly that goth has nothing to do with skin color, that you don't
Goth doesn't have anything to do with skin color at all. It was made by black people. Like,
need to be white or pale.
Freya does trad goth makeup specifically, which involves a completely white foundation.
No, a trad goth look does not require white face paint. I've actually scripted an entire video on the subject that I haven't shot yet, and I have probably said 1,000 times, yes, I'm a ginger, I have a lot of freckles, I do not want them. Here is an old photo of me. Your skin is yours to do whatever you want with. I will do whatever I want with my own pheomelanin, thank you very much. People have melasma, uneven skin tone they want correcting, tan lines.
vitiligo.
That is a recipe for a nice sugar scrub with the option of adding lemon and parsley if you want to even out skin tone. So racist. I have never told anyone they need to be paler, not even in that video.
Drama with another online personality named Violet Vixen, and my sources claiming that Freya was refusing to just say Black Lives Matter. If we assume that Violet was just trying to educate her and Freya claimed that she was being harassed and publicly called out by Violet, Freya looks at criticism as harassment.
I do not look at criticism as harassment. I look at bullying as bullying, and this random chick was bullying me, along with 1 or 2 friends of hers. I guess she's a bit like you. She just wanted to take me down for fun or something.
And that makes sense.
She sent me a screenshot of a fake conversation between me and some business or something called Madam. It didn't even sound like me. I think she was the same chick who tried to take down Emily Autumn by proving that she was a racist, which is something that someone can't really prove that they aren't. She couldn't find proof that I'd actually said or done anything racist, so she had to make something up. I know I screenshotted the conversation. God knows where that is now. It was 5 years ago. I've been looking for it. I
It's 5 years ago, so why are we doing that?
scrolled through over 5 years of Instagram messages to find that conversation. She's long gone, so it looks like this now. But I told her what I'm about to tell you. Put your hateful energy into attacking someone who is actually a problem. Of course, Black Lives Matter. Duh. I've never felt the need to tell my followers not to be racist because I assume they already know that. I don't need.
I mean, you've forged a community that, follows your ideals. So if your ideal is, anti-racism, then your community would follow suit.
Need to point out, hey guys, I'm not a racist. I prefer to just go about my life not being one. A wise man once said, I have a dream that my children will one day live in a nation where they are not judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I too
Preach.
believe in judging the individual. Whatever color you are, if you're a good person, you're a good person. Let's be friends. Likewise, a bully is a bully, and I do not tolerate bullying.
Freya's best friend and bandmate had tragically taken his life.
Why did you keep bringing up my mate's death?
I don't know.
Why? Is it so you can pretend to be an empathetic and caring person?
So what's going on with the pets?
My pets! You can pause to read this drivel if you want. That is not even close to the truth. It's f***ing appalling. When I
Oh, Reilly. You could have done so much better.
was away for short periods, I would take the cats to a very nice cattery and the birds to a local vet clinic. But when I had to leave Germany and move out of my flat, obviously that was different. I didn't know if I would be moving to the UK, getting a new German visa, returning to New Zealand, or how long I wouldn't be there. My black rescue cat, Thanatos, was rehomed with my friend Martin, who has been amazing with him. Thanatos is still thriving. The Budgies were
Good.
rehomed with a lady called Amanda. We agreed I'd take them back if I was going to move back to Germany, but otherwise they were hers. Moon Moon, the cat I loved enough to save up thousands of dollars to fly from New Zealand to Germany to be with me. God, I've explained this so many times. A friend of mine offered to take her in. She had lots of cats. She cares deeply about animals. She had a house beautifully set up for cats, including a patio. I trusted her and I knew Moon Moon would be safe and loved with her. And I would pick her up when I had a long-term living arrangement sorted. You can't just fly around the world with a cat, by the
That's true. You can't fly around with any animal, especially across the fucking planet.
way. Oh, and Moon Moon was a girl. I went home to New Zealand and I only intended to be there for a few months. But then COVID happened. International borders were closed. Germany closed its borders. No one was allowed in or out of New Zealand. Has everyone forgotten that this happened? It was a full 3 years before travel restrictions eased up. During COVID, my friend Mason.
Oh shit, Feather! Hello! Hi guys! Welcome in! How you doing? Hi! Welcome in, Raiders. My name is Kyrie. I'm a Gormagala VTuber. I do variety reactions and games. We're reacting to the It's Black Friday and Reilly Elaina situation. How was your stream?
You could be reacting to something actually funny.
You're playing Team Fight Tactics? How did that go? Oh no, the Feather Raid!
That sounds.
It was good for the whole 12 hours. 12 fucking hours. Oh, I remember. Feather can't tell you because he's immediately going to bed, I promise. Yeah, go to bed, Feather. Go to bed. If you need to go to bed, go to bed. If you guys need to read and run, I totally understand. Be sure to take care of yourself first. That comes first. Before anything. Wow, okay, fine. Oh, we were writing for 3-ish and then the rest for TFT. If you want to stay, if you... Love you too, I guess, lol. If you want to stay, you can stay. I just, you promised chat you would go to bed. So I'm trying to be respectful to your community as well. Thank you for the hydrate. I just finished off my sparkling water. Thank y'all. But yeah, If you do need to go to bed, go to bed. If you don't want to go to bed, don't go to bed. That's fine. That's totally fine. I understand completely.
Oh my God!
Oh my god. Wow. But yeah, we're looking into the Reilly, Elaina, and It's Black Friday situation.
To tell me Moon Moon had passed away. I rang her and we cried over the phone together. I was devastated then and I still am now. Let me show you something. On our wall is this beautiful drawing of Moon Moon. Yes, that's a drawing that some wonderful friends online put together to have made and framed for me. It's
That's so pretty.
very big. The artist is amazing. Look, like she captured her. Moon Moon had a heart murmur and was never going to live to be old. So no, for the nth time, I did not abandon my pets. I rehomed them. I am so tired of talking about this. This video was shot in New Zealand during a short trip there. And then I went back to Germany and the animals were still with me when I was clearing out my flat. You can hear the birds in the background.
Okay, I'll go eat peas, otherwise I will be murderized by Knight and his posse. You all enjoy your stream. Alright, Feather, get some rest.
Then I was over in Scotland for a bit to store my stuff there, then back to New Zealand, and then COVID. I loved them, I made sure they were safe, pets are family, and this is disgusting. F you all the way to the sun and back.
Freya's most recent alleged scamming scandal. Freya wanted an all-expenses-paid trip to Wave Gothic Treffen.
My documentary. Alright, you daft bint. I am not, and never have been, a scammer. Why the hell would I compromise my entire career, all my friends, my entire following, just for a bit of money and partying? Also, what
That is a very valid point. Black Friday is an OG YouTuber. Like, why would she do that?
wanting to show the beauty of goth and different ethnicities.
Where you going, girl? I only know about D&D. Oh.
And cultures clearly backs up how racist I am.
Freya went to the festival and did some shaky filming on her phone to keep the backers fooled.
I laughed out loud when I read this. Shaky footage on my phone to keep up the pretense. Oh, you mean the hundreds of gigabytes of footage I shot on this cinema camera? I did zero partying, by the way. I went to these events not to go to the event, but to document the people at it. Duh.
You could have left your precious son back in New Zealand with his dad and sister.
I know nothing about the situation, just playing devil's advocate. Successful people do things to compromise their careers all the time. Yes. Yes, they do. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. But It's Black Friday, as somebody who's been watching her since I was a baby bat, is not like that. And that's where I think Reilly, was going through a BPD split when she made this. Because, one, she usually cites her sources. Two, she usually does her research. This was all sent to her by a disgruntled fan. Right? She did a lot of this, and she started with a threat. She started this multiple hour-long video with a threat. Reilly did. So yeah, Black Friday's gonna be pissed, and Black Friday is Black Friday's a little bit different from most OG YouTubers. Most OG YouTubers, they've fucked up their career at some point. I think obviously the gaming YouTubers that are still around are probably the main ones that haven't. But like, I mean, we could take Onision, Jeffree Star, Shane Dawson, for example. Those are the three that I can think of off the top of my head. They completely botched it. So yes, I get where you're coming from, but Black Friday is a little bit different as somebody who has watched her videos. And I've watched Reilly enough to know that this is not like her either, and that's where I have an issue.
I brought my son because I was going to be away for a long time. He was still breastfeeding, he was only 1 and needed mummy. And Barnaby could not have looked after both children on his own.
The habit of asking anyone on Facebook who will listen to babysit her child for free. Tried to leave her baby boy with strangers in different countries so that she could party.
I can see how people misconstrue the babysitter thing. So in order to film Mariluna, I drove all the way from Glasgow in Scotland to Hildesheim, Germany in one go, pausing to sleep for 2 hours in Dover. I got filming accreditation for Reilly, one of only 2 people granted this permission. I was on crutches.
Congratulations.
The trip cost a lot. Reilly does not allow children at the site. I organised a nice babysitter in Hildesheim via an agency, which had already been difficult, and at the last minute she had to pull out and I was panicking. Without a sitter, the entire journey was for nothing, wasting funders' money. I asked online if anyone knew a babysitter while I flailed about with agencies searching for a replacement. I was not going to fob him off with a stranger. I was looking for an experienced, verifiable, vouched for proper babysitter, not just any random who was available. My son and all my children are the most important thing in the universe to me. I would literally die to save them. No way on God's green earth would I hand them over to someone if I had a flicker of doubt. I did find a great babysitter, 2 actually. It cost me about 600 euros. They sent me photo updates throughout the day. One was an early childhood education student, the other a retired doctor close to my accommodation. This is all bullshit. The only other sitter my son had in the entire 5 months we were away was a friend of mine from Wellington who was living in London, and she had him overnight so I could film at Slimelight. Thank you again, Jeffer.
The stream where she was getting paid to take liquor shots while her baby was crying in the background, and people in the chat were literally begging her to go tend to him.
I feel like this didn't happen. If my wee man was crying, I would not have just left him crying. I did drink and stream sometimes. I think someone watching started the "I'll give you a fiver if you take a shot of that" thing. It was a bit of fun because that gin is horrible neat and makes you go ah. I've never actually
Fair enough.
been drunk in a stream, and I wouldn't get drunk if I was alone with my baby. I actually found the stream and the bit you're talking about, and guess what? That didn't happen. Okay, hang on, just give me 2 seconds. I'm just gonna try and relax Monty. He's just woken up. He screams his head off every time he wakes up, so 1 moment please.
She went to go tend to her child in the stream. So what do you mean?
Just for the sake of spite, I might do a gin o'clock stream next week. And this gin is nice to drink neat. Cheers. As for my fake documentary scam, I recently shared a sample reel on social media. I've kept that reel unlisted in order to not compromise entry into future film competitions. But bugger it, if you need proof, I will publish it publicly, so you can see a tiny sample of what I did. I am currently trying to get funding or any further help to continue with the film. Yes, it's real, and I don't want to do it on my own. I want crew and helpers, but I want to be able to pay them. I busted my ass in 2024 on that project. 2025 was a total write-off owing to troubles with my mother, a house, miscarriages, Severine being ill a lot, my being pregnant and my being in hospital a lot. Obviously, since having a baby and 2 toddlers, I've had no time to do anything else. I've picked up the film again and it's moving ahead. I have said multiple times that it's going to take longer than I hoped.
Calling the people who
I mean, she's honest. She's honest with her community. And that is, as a viewer, I can say that.
helped finance your supposed documentary bitches and telling them to fuck off.
I wasn't calling the supporters bitches or telling them to f off.
I also joined the campaign and stupidly gave her money and was called a cunt amongst other things.
This person is lying. He is not a supporter. His name is not among the list of backers. He antagonizes me on Facebook all the time. I probably did call him a stupid cunt because he was being one. Supporters all got access to a Discord group where they can see what I'm doing. I've taken pains to make sure every single person got a functional invite link so that people not seeing anything or hassling me presumably hadn't been supporters.
So we know at the very least that some work was done in the last couple of years. We don't know when.
The people in the Discord know because I told them as I was doing the work.
Deleting
I'm pretty sure if you had spoken to Black Friday directly, a lot of this could have been debunked.
comments, which she tends to do when met with criticism.
And I don't delete comments on social media unless they're spamming or being overly inflammatory.
Her child went through a major surgery right before the time she left for WGT.
Why aren't you on the first plane home to your daughter who is bleeding out?
Your daughter is recovering from throat surgery, and you chose to travel and party instead of being there for her.
Severine's surgery. I'll touch on this because you got that wrong too. I took Severine in for her surgery. We were at the hospital all morning. I wanted to be with her. It got cancelled suddenly and postponed to an unknown date months later. It was a very minor surgery. Adenoidectomy, grommets put in, and maybe some tissue adjusted at the back of her throat. Barnaby took her in for it long after I'd gone overseas. I was on the video phone while they put her to sleep. It all went fine.
Yeah, she was essentially there. Like, she may not have been physically there, but she was there on video chat to make sure that everything went well. She's not going to leave her child.
Healing, she developed a cold. The coughing caused the surgical site to tear in her sleep. Barnaby went to get her up, immediately called an ambulance when he saw blood, and then called me. And I was on speaker on video phone at the hospital so I could talk to all the doctors and nurses and see what was happening. They kept assuring me she was okay, that I needn't worry, but I was losing my mind. She was awake and lucid and hadn't actually lost much blood despite how bad it looked. Do you honestly think I didn't care? I was beside myself. I couldn't sleep. That's my baby. If I'd flown back to New Zealand, it would have taken days, cost thousands of dollars, and made zero difference. Doctors told me repeatedly that she was okay. Oh, and she was able to go home the same day. Nothing further needed doing, and it healed up on its own. Her breathing issue has greatly improved, by the way.
Mega Mommy. Dear old Karen. Karen is kind of deranged and harasses people online. Her mom made many lives a living hell, including mine. She's a toxic woman and I wish I never came in contact with her.
Let's talk about my mother. I no longer speak to my mother, and I never will again.
That's fair.
Made the necessary decision to cut her from our lives. She has not met our new baby and never will. She has no access to our children. It's a heavy subject, so I'll keep it brief here and expound on it further for Patreon perhaps. We bought a house together with her at the end of 2024. I did not want to do it. She's not used to living with others, but she was determined to do it. She insisted it would be fine. It wasn't. 6 months she lived with us. It was so awful that after only 6 months we packed our stuff and legged it to a rental house where I currently am. If you look up literally anything...
This is actually an interesting video, not gonna lie. Black Friday is a great YouTuber for anybody starting out as, like, in the goth community or in the alternative community in general. Reilly or Lana is great for commentary on actual problematic people, but Black Friday is not one of them, and she is debunking everything, so... And I'm not just saying that for bias, like, this is why we're watching the video, so that we can see Black Friday debunk everything.
About a narcissistic parent that describes her with uncanny accuracy. I had to get the children away from that toxic environment. She has always told the world that I'm her shining star and she couldn't be more proud of me, but the way she treated me behind closed doors was not that at all. Long story short, I had to report her to the police family harm unit. One more incident and a protection notice was going to be issued to her. She does not know this. There was so much that was so bad in that 6-month period, I wouldn't even know where to begin recounting it. I have hours of audio recordings to evidence all the screaming, lying, extreme gaslighting, emotional abuse, endless criticism, threats, and violent outbursts. She's always been a small doses person, but in recent years, something has changed, and I don't know what. She would sit there all day scrolling reels and watching videos about Trump and America, and started believing all these crazy conspiracy theories. The sound of these videos just humming along in the background. She's never even been to America, yet believes she has all this insider knowledge. I haven't spoken to her since like June or July last year. She sold that house. Barnaby lost loads of money. We decided we'd rather be paying rent and be broke than be that miserable. She will probably watch this and call it slander or libel, but it isn't slander or libel if it's true, Karen, which it is. And it is devastating because I want a mother.
Oh.
And I wish she were different.
I know the feeling, Black Friday. I know the feeling very well. I love my mom so much. And for the longest time, we, for reasons I cannot explain because that would trigger my PTSD, we were not able to talk to each other. And I had my grandparents cut off for a long time. I still have my biological father's mom cut off. Because my biological father's mom, while not abusive, it's pretty much in the same boat with all these conspiracy theories. So I understand, and I'm so sorry.
Sorry. Where do you go for comfort when the cruelty is coming from the person you're supposed to be giving you comfort? I'm glad I take after my dad. She'd send nasty messages to people in my life, attack people in my video comments. She is a poisonous, crazy bitch, and I finally got the balls to tell her so. So, dear haters, lol cows, Reilly, I'm sorry, but I'm not the monster you want me to be. I'm just not that interesting. I am far from perfect, and I know that. I have flaws, I'm aware of them, I work on them. There are definitely things I should have done better. My only crime is my weapons-grade ADHD, and I'm not exaggerating, by the way. That has all but ruined my life. Imagine the worst case you possibly can, and one might say ADHD isn't an excuse, but it's a pretty good reason for every dumb thing I've ever done. I am
ADHD, a lot of people don't realize it, but ADHD is like autism. And I say this as in it is crippling for some people, especially if you have executive dysfunction from it. It's not something that can just be lightly, touched upon. Like, yeah, we joke about ADHD a lot more than we do like autism and BPD and stuff like that. But there is a stigma around ADHD that is different because people are like, oh, that just means you're hyperactive, you're forgetful, such and such. No, ADHD is a life crippling disorder, just like autism and fucking BPD. And I say this as an autistic person and somebody who has BPD. It is not something to be trifled with.
I'm always trying to do too much by myself with no help, which naturally leads to fuck-ups. 99% of the time everything is grand, but shit happens. My t-shirt shop, for example. There's been a few times that orders have been placed and not automatically actioned, and I haven't realised until the customer emails me and says, hey, where's my order? Things fall through the cracks. I would never screw anyone over on purpose. The person who gets the most screwed over by me is me. If anyone has any issues like that, like if I was meant to send you something and haven't, please for God's sake email me and let me know so I can rectify it. And if I don't do it right away, nag me. I have a head like a sieve with holes in it. I need a manager or an assistant, but I don't have the budget for one. As for Miss Reilly, I think chasing clout and views by shitting on others is a pathetic premise for a YouTube channel. Spending hours dredging up old and long resolved drama. People who aren't even online anymore. What a sad existence. How miserable must you be? Is it to make yourself feel superior? Does stepping on someone you consider high make you feel higher than them? Like I've said to bullies before, if you have this much free time and energy, put it into something that actually matters, something positive. Maybe create some original content of your own, if you can. Go after some actual bad guys, instead of trying to make yourself feel like a polyperfect clever clogs. Believing the sort of crap you've read
I don't even know what the fuck that means, but go off, Queen.
about me on lolcows is no better than my mum believing conspiracy theories. Some random YouTuber said it, so it must be true. I hadn't heard it before, so it must be some arcane secret. Judging by the enormous wall of expensive weeaboo junk behind you, I'm going to assume you come from a position of privilege. I'm not going to research you because I don't care. Maybe you don't understand what it's like to struggle, to labor, to take risks, try, fail, have ambition, to need to work towards a better life. I was a weeaboo back when it was still lame, so hear this. 悪は新しいものを何一つ作ることができない。悪にできるのは良きものの力によってすでに作られたものをただ歪め、ねじ曲げることだけだ。なんて哀れなんだ。Get a life. I'm going to carry on with mine, encouraging people to express themselves, creating a welcoming online space for all kinds of people, and spreading positivity amongst those who need it. My final words to you, since we are digging up old shit from the internet. Bye, Felicia.
I think
Damn! Alright, Black Friday. I was not expecting the Japanese. But good on you. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on this. Honestly, I've known about both of these YouTubers for a minute, and Black Friday, I mean, you could have never shown me this video and you could have just said these things to me and I wouldn't have believed you. I would have believed Black Friday is innocent, but I cannot just let my biases be the reason that I have that position, so I watched, both sides of the video. And, Black Friday debunked everything. And she risked her career and her safety to do so. So that's pretty much where I'll leave that.